Hi, Gamecock fans on Twitter and YouTube. JC Shurburtt here with the Big Spur Minute. Boy, been a tough week out there in Gamecock land, right? Starting with the Clemson, South Carolina baseball game last Friday night, a heartbreaker. Gamecocks going to get swept for the first time in, I think it's 96 in a 3-game series in that sport, which used to be elite. And I think it's safe to say now that it's just not. And I know they've had injuries and things like that, but getting swept like that's really a tough pill to swallow, especially when you're hitting light, which was the same issue last year. I thought that the Gamecocks pitchers actually went out there and battled, but the position players and the defense and hitting, it just it didn't work. Clemson's got good pitchers, don't get me wrong, but really sort of a bad weekend. And then in the unacceptable category, Xavier comes to town. I think they were 2-9. They'd beaten Upstate 2 out of 3. Cold weather team, obviously from Cincinnati, mid-major team, 2-9, hitting 240 coming in. Gamecocks get smoked 15-7 at Founders Park. Some rumblings in the crowd. That's unacceptable. Midweek games in college baseball, you're going to drop some here and there. But one thing that Ray Tanner did, and the formula worked while he was the coach, he very rarely lost those games. Win on Friday, win on Sunday. Win your midweek games. That's a recipe for getting in the tournament, and he did just about every year he was at Carolina. And that just doesn't seem to be something that happens often enough or at the rate it should, especially when you have a team like Xavier, cold weather team coming in. I just you look at this team this year, you've got top-ranked Texas coming in this weekend, which should be a big deal, but the Gamecocks are really struggling, and that's not good. Men's basketball drops a game to Auburn. Auburn clinches the outright SEC championship with the win. South Carolina battled hard, but didn't quite get it. Same old thing at times, where they were close and then somebody makes a play, bricks a layup, that kind of thing. There's no shame in losing at Auburn. South Carolina, and even the manner it went down, South Carolina battled pretty hard against one of the best teams in the country. Now they're 18-12, 9-9. Lots of talk about Frank Martin and his future buzzing around the university. Lots of moving parts with that situation. So we'll see what happens there. Gamecocks play Mississippi State in Tampa at the SEC tournament tomorrow night. Mississippi State and the Gamecocks split this season. Both kind of blew the other out. Gamecocks won by 10, Mississippi State by 14, but both of those games were well in hand for the home team when they played during the regular season. If they win, he had another shot at Tennessee, which is not going to be easy. But anytime there's an opportunity to go play, in a tournament style setting, anything can happen. Certainly Gamecock Nation could use some good news or a magical run this weekend. On top of that, the women's basketball team was going for another SEC tournament title and amazingly got upset by Kentucky, who kind of went through the tournament as a Cinderella. Gamecocks still are on track for a #1 seed and all that. Don Staley's group. You sort of hope sometimes when you have a dominant team like that when you take an L, it kind of refocuses you and kind of makes you a little bit more afraid to lose, more of a sense of urgency. But the NCAA tournament coming up, I think that's going to be important for that group. Gamecocks are still immensely talented and very, very good, but just a tough loss there, kind of like a sprinkling of feces on the poop Sunday, if you will, losing that one. Football recruiting, not good news there either. Over the weekend, 4-star defensive lineman Keith Sampson commits to Florida State. He's from New Bern, North Carolina. That was a Gamecock target. Now, the Gamecocks are in on a lot of good defensive tackles this cycle, so I think they'll be fine. But it's just kind of the early loss, the surprising commit, and then the fact he's probably going to shut it down. 4-star Antonio Tripp, offensive lineman from Maryland, commits to the University of Miami. So 2 guys the Gamecocks wanted are bound for the state of Florida. And then the most concerning thing was Zechariah Owens, a big franchise type offensive tackle prospect out of Georgia. heavily feeling the Gamecocks. Just everything that he mentioned about Carolina was positive. There's crystal ball predictions in for Carolina for him. He goes to Clemson for a visit there and names the Tigers his leader. Now, with football recruiting, it's not time to panic or be concerned. It's still early. Shane Beamer and his staff do an excellent job. They got visitors cycling in starting really, really soon. Clemson's an impressive place. Florida State's really good at recruiting. And then Miami, of course, with Mario Cristobal, very attractive places. So, I mean, when you recruit some of the top talent around the country, you're going to get in battles and you're going to lose some and win some. And the idea is to get your share and to get close. And so, but still, not a lot of positive recruiting news out there either on the football end of things. But I have a feeling that's going to kind of turn around. So anyway, that's the Big Spur Brief for today. Just wish I had better stuff to talk about, more positive stuff. But, you got to shoot it straight. And right now, South Carolina athletics need something good to happen to it. And it's only been a week, so not time to really panic. There's been some good things happen here and there. I think the biggest concern is this baseball team this year, just to be quite honest. I think that, basketball is going to resolve itself. Women's basketball, I think, is going to be fine. Football recruiting, like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But this baseball thing, South Carolina's got very high standards in baseball, as they should. And those standards are not being met, folks, as of right now. 12 games in, long way to go, but the standards aren't being met. I'm JC Shurburtt. This has been the Big Spur Brief. Stay tuned. Inside the Gamecocks podcast coming up later today. And, of course, catch all my stuff on thebigspur.com. Also, JB and Goldwater show today from 12:30 to 1:30. Stream that if you love good sports talk radio, focused on the state of South Carolina, the Gamecocks, Clemson, local type of deal. I know it's hard to get good sports talk radio consistently in the Palmetto State. All right, JC Shurburtt signing off the Big Spur Brief.